The Nintendo 3DS is a handheld gaming console that Nintendo released in 2011. It is the successor to the Nintendo DS. It changed portable gaming by introducing glasses-free 3D technology at the top screen. The system supports Wi-Fi connectivity, enabling online multiplayer experiences and access to the Nintendo eShop, where users can download games, demos, and applications in Virtual Console. Well, it used to, unless you do something else. The 3DS boasts a diverse and acclaimed game library featuring beloved games like Super Mario 3D Land, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask remakes, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and Animal Crossing New Leaf, and Smash Bros. But y'all know what I'm here for. Lost media. The titles that never saw the light of day, whether it was due to controversy or financial issues. But before we go further, I can see you. I can see that you're not subscribed. It would be lovely if you please subscribe to my channel. It helps me be able to make the videos that I can make, and it'll help me be able to be monetized. So please subscribe. Mighty Number 9 was a crowdfunded action platformer developed by Concept and published by Deep Silver, envisioned as a spiritual successor to the Mega Man series. Launched on Kickstarter in 2013, the campaign raised over $4 million, surpassing its initial goal of $900,000. Amongst the stretch goals achieved were promises for a Nintendo 3DS and a PlayStation Vita game version. The game was released in 2016 for multiple platforms, including PC, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Wii U, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. However, the 3DS and Vita versions faced significant delays. Initial development efforts for these handheld ports were minimum, with reports indicating that no substantial work had been undertaken. Later, the task of porting was handed over to Engine Software, which essentially had to rebuild the game from scratch due to the technical differences between the consoles and handheld versions. Despite these efforts, the handheld versions remain unreleased. In January 2025, Amazon officially canceled all outstanding pre-orders for the 3DS and Vita versions, effectively confirming that these ports would never materialize. This marked the end of a prolonged period of uncertainty for fans who had anticipated the game's arrival on handheld platforms. Damn, imagine waiting that long for a pre-order. Tobe Dragon, also known as Fly Dragon, was a canceled air racing game developed by Armsies for the Nintendo 3DS. Announced in 2015, the game was intended to be a digital title for the 3DS eShop, with the initial release planned for the winter of that year. However, after several years without updates, Armsies officially canceled the project in 2019, citing the emergence of newer consoles like the Nintendo Switch as a factor of the decision. While no official gameplay footage or screenshots were ever released, it is believed that Tobe Dragon would feature gameplay similar to Mario Kart, with players racing on the backs of dragons and utilizing special moves to hinder opponents. My Garden was a garden simulation game developed by EA Salt Lake for the Nintendo 3DS. Announced at the Tokyo Game Show in September 2010, it was intended as a launch title for the 3DS. The game aimed to utilize the 3DS's stereoscopic 3D capabilities, allowing players to cultivate virtual gardens and share photos with friends. However, EA officially canceled the project in February 2011, just a month before the Nintendo 3DS's release, citing concerns that the title would not attract a large audience on the platform. In My Garden, players were guided by a mascot named Tanuki, who insists in planting various colored seeds, each producing different effects. The game features 6 unique gardens to nurture, with the goal of collecting 300 unique plants. Players could decorate their gardens with items like pinwheels and attract animals using different suits. Interactive elements included shaking the 3DS to cause the animals to leave and whistling to attract them. Additionally, the game incorporated photo challenges, allowing players to capture and share images of their gardens. Despite nearly being complete, My Garden faced criticism during previews for its lackluster gameplay, unresponsive controls, and uncomfortable 3D visuals. Publications like Joystick described it as lifeless and with a jumpy frame rate. These factors contribute to EA's decision to cancel the game, as they felt it would not appeal to a broad audience on the 3DS platform. KO King of Pirates was an action adventure game developed by KG Nafune Studios in concept and intercept and published by Marvelous for the Nintendo 3DS. Announced in 2011, the game aimed to offer a retelling of the Chinese classic Romance of the Three Kingdoms, featuring an anthropomorphic animal characters like the penguin protagonist Senakushki, forgive me. The narrative was set in a vast oceanic world where the heroes clash for ambition, justice, and survival. Nafune envisioned the project as a trilogy and a cross-media franchise, including manga and toys. The game was supposed to be released in 2012 but faced several delays, moving to 2013, then 2014. In March 2015, Marvelous announced the game's cancellation. They said that the reasons were sudden changes in the marketplace and challenges with developing the related media, so that would include the manga and the toys mentioned earlier. Bomberman 3DS was an ambitious action-adventure game developed by Hudson Soft and planned for the release on the Nintendo 3DS. Announced in 2010, the game aimed to bring classic Bomberman franchise to the handheld console with both a single-player campaign and a multiplayer modes. Initially slated for release in autumn 2011, the game's development faced challenges following Hudson's acquisition by Konami in early 2011. Despite the initial announcements, the game was ultimately canceled and no official release occurred. Chocobo Racing 3D was a planned kart racing game for the Nintendo 3DS. Announced by Square Enix at E3 2010, it was intended to be a sequel to the 1999 PlayStation title Chocobo Racing, featuring characters from the Final Fantasy series. The game was being developed by hand and was amongst the first titles Square Enix announced for the 3DS. However, a brief period of anticipation and a limited information, development ceased. In October 2013, Takahashi Kiyota, the creator of the original Chocobo Racing, confirmed that the project had been cancelled. He stated that the 3DS version was handled by another team and that had he been involved, he would have ensured its completion. Square Enix later clarified that the cancellation was due to the game's quality not meeting the company's standards. DJ Hero 3D was a planned entry in the DJ Hero franchise, announced in Nintendo's E3 press conference on June 15, 2010. During the reveal of the Nintendo 3DS, developed by Vicarious Visions and published by Activision, it was intended to be the first handheld installment in the series. DJ Hero aimed to adapt the core mechanics of the DJ Hero series to the Nintendo 3DS's hardware. Players will use the stylus and touchscreen to simulate scratching and cross-fading between songs, providing an interactive music experience on the handheld console. Despite initial announcements, development on DJ Hero 3D ceased after Activision decided to discontinue the DJ Hero franchise. The decision was influenced by the declining sales of DJ Hero 2 and the broader market trends fading away from music rhythm games. Blood Rain the Shroud was a planned action game in the Blood Rain series. Initially announced for the Nintendo 3DS during its reveal at E3 2010, developed and published by Majesco Entertainment, the game was intended to be a third person action title featuring the series protagonist Rain battling supernatural forces. The subtitle The Shroud likely referred to a technology from Blood Rain 2 that allowed vampires to walk in daylight by blocking out the sun. This concept suggested that the game might continue the storyline from Blood Rain 2, where Rain leads a resistance against a vampire led world. However, in April 2011, Majesco announced that the development of the Shroud was on hold. This decision followed the release of Blood Rain Betrayal, a downloadable side-scrolling action game which did not meet sales expectations. As a result, Majesco chose to focus on releasing Blood Rain Betrayal instead of continuing with the Shroud. Cold Country was an ambitious first-person survival horror game developed by Renegade Kid, originally announced for the Nintendo 3DS eShop in 2013. The game aimed to blend episodic storytelling akin to The Walking Dead with the atmospheric tension of Silent Hill and Resident Evil, offering players a psychological horror experience set in a desolate West Texas town plagued by a dangerous cult known as the Dust Devils. The game was set to support the Circle Pad Pro for dual stick controls, enhancing the first person experience. An atmospheric demo was showcased at PAX East 2013, generating interest amongst attendees. In April 2014, Renegade Kid announced a change in development focus for their game, Cold Country. They decided to shift the project to consoles and launched a Kickstarter campaign to help fund its development. The campaign aimed to raise $500,000 to support the releases on various platforms including PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Wii U, and PC. Unfortunately, the Kickstarter campaign concluded with only $46,000 pledged, which was significantly below the goal. After the failed crowdfunding campaign, Renegade Kid announced that they would cancel the 3DS version of Cold Country. Despite this setback, they said that they would look for other ways to release the game, but no new updates came and Renegade Kid stopped operating in 2016 and the game was never released on any platform. Obscurity was a cancelled side-scrolling survival horror game developed by Hydra Vision Entertainment and intended for a digital release on multiple platforms, including the Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. It was planned as a prequel to the Obscure series set to launch in the fall of 2012. Unlike its predecessors, which featured 3D environments and co-op gameplay, Obscurity was designed to be a 2.5D side-scrolling action horror game, drawing comparisons to titles like Blood Rain Betrayal, which mentioned earlier. The game was aimed to blend fast-paced combat with horror elements, featuring both returning and new characters from the Obscure series. Set 3 days before the events of Obscure 2, the narrative followed Lydia Thompson, a senior at the new Leafmore High School in Fall Creek, as she organized a search party to find her missing sister Ashley Thompson and Ashley's boyfriend John Carter, both characters from the original Obscure game. The storyline was intended to expand the series' lore, exploring the origins of the mysterious Aura virus and introducing new characters. The lack of updates and the studio's silence led to speculation about the game's status. Eventually, Obscurity was quietly cancelled and Hydra Vision Entertainment was restructured into Mighty Rocket Studio. Mega Man Legends 3 was an ambitious action-adventure game developed by Capcom that unfortunately was never officially released. It was intended to be the third installment in the Mega Man Legends sub-series, which diverged from the classic 2D Mega Man formula with a 3D open-world structure, RPG elements, and a strong narrative focus. Despite enthusiasm from fans, Capcom officially canceled the project in July 2011, citing inadequate support and internal reasons. The cancellation sparked significant backlash from the Mega Man community, as the game had been seen as a much awaited revival for the franchise on modern hardware. Jean 3DS. There was a proposed Bayonetta spin-off for the Nintendo 3DS centered around Jean. In a 2013 interview with series director Hideki Kamiya, expressed interest in developing a smaller-scale portable game featuring Jean as the protagonist. He envisioned it as a title that could be played in short sessions, with Jean taking the role of a history teacher, offering a unique and humorous twist to the Bayonetta universe. However, this never progressed beyond the idea stage. There was no official announcements, no development updates, or cancellations from Platinum Games or Nintendo regarding this project. The image you see depicting a 3DS game cover titled Jean is fan-made and not official. This one sucks and hurts the most. As a huge Bayonetta fan, it would have been nice for John to have her own game, as she's a cool character with interesting lore. Regarding that she was the heir to the Umbran throne, and in Bayonetta 1's timeline, she seals Bayonetta away to protect her. When you unlock Jean in the first two games, she has a unique moveset. She's also the preferred character for speedruns, as she's much faster than Bayonetta. This game would have helped her character a lot instead of being used for a stupid pace killer 2D side mission selection in her Bayonetta 3 iteration, or killed off at the beginning of Bayonetta 2. And there you have it, lost and canceled 3DS games. Thank you if you made it to the end of the video, I gladly appreciate it. If you have any suggestions, thoughts, or additional information about these games, feel free to share them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your insights. Don't forget to like the video if you found it interesting, and consider subscribing for more content like this. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.